In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up some reminders for appointments that you might want to make with your students or with anyone else that you want to send reminders for. So you can only do this in Outlook web version. You cannot do it in your desktop version. So you will need to either use the icon on your desktop or go to outlook.daytonastate.edu and then log in, and it'll just be the web version of your Outlook account. So let's just say I want to make an appointment with a student at 8 o'clock on Wednesday the 24th. So I have a choice. I can either come here and choose new event, or I can come right onto the calendar itself and click on the time. Now, if I only click on it once, it will give me this abbreviated version of the window, and it'll say more options. I can go ahead and click on more options and it'll expand it. But I'll get that same full window if I double click. When you double click, you get that more options. You see all the options now, but it's also the same window you would get if you would choose new event. So I'm just going to walk you through how I do this, and you would just obviously do it your own way for your own purposes. So I set it up. Let's just say Susie student instructor meeting SLS 1122 56 ZF. Now, I want to have a meaningful subject line because I want to be able to see all of that information on my calendar, and it's helpful for the student to see it too. But this way, when I see it on my calendar, I know the student's name, I know which class it is, and I know which section number it is. So when I prepare for this meeting, I can just jump into that course shell and find anything I need before I meet with this student. So then next is invite attendees, and this is where you'll put that person's email. So I'm just going to put in susie.student@daytonastate.edu. Now, again, this is not a real student, so this isn't really going to go through. So, okay, we have that information. So we see now the appointment is from 8 to 8:30. Well, I have my appointments every 15 minutes. So I can just come in here, and again, you can just literally type in the time frame that you want if those quarter hours don't appear on your list or whatever, depending on how your settings are. You don't have to worry about a room or a location for an online meeting because it'll be Teams. Now, this is where the reminder part comes in. First of all, you just want to have a good message in your original appointment so that the student has some directions of what do I need to do when I have this meeting? And you would do this for any kind of meeting that you want to have here. I have some canned things that I put out there. So that way I can just go and copy and paste it and change it anytime I need it. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this in here. Now, this is both my appointment information and my reminder information. I put it all in once because then I just copy the parts that I want and delete the parts I don't want. So if I were to send it right now, they would get this appointment, and 15 minutes before the appointment, they would just get a little notification, just like we do, saying, hey, you have an appointment coming up in 15 minutes for the instructor meeting. It would have the information and the title. Well, I want that to be 15 minutes. That's good. That's wonderful. But I want to have another more explicit reminder about 30 minutes before, because we know that students aren't always checking their email. They aren't always looking for the appointment because they don't realize that I sent them an appointment, not an email, so it went onto their calendar. So I'm just going to go right here. I'm going to copy what my reminder message is, and I'm going to delete it from this part of the message. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come right here, and I'm going to say I want to add an email reminder. So I come in here, I hit add email reminder, and I want the email reminder to go out 30 minutes before. And here I can add a unique message. Now, if you want, you can copy and paste the exact same thing you put in the original message. I make it slightly different because I want the beginning of it to say this is a reminder. Okay. And then I actually put their time in there. And then, I give them a little explanation saying, hey, you have to be on time. And then I also provide them, again, how do you get into Teams to do that? Then I click send to the attendees. If you don't choose that, this reminder isn't going to go to the people that you're setting it up for. So hit save. Once that's in there, now 30 minutes before they're going to get a little notification that looks like this. And you can just X out of it. So now you see that they're going to get a reminder 15 minutes before, and they're going to get an email. Now, I like to color code things because I like to know what different things are on my calendar. So if I come up here to categorize, you can see I've got a bunch of different color coded things. Well, you can go in and you can either manage categories. When you first go here, it'll just say purple, yellow, green, blue. You can go in and change the names of them. You can add a new one. But this way on my calendar, I know that there's certain things. Green things are meetings, brown things are office hours, pink things are classes. So to me, I immediately see on my calendar the difference between. You don't have to do that, but I am going to do it here because now you can see it shows as green. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to send. Now, I don't know where Susie, student at Daytona State College, is going to go, but it might bounce back to me. All right, so if I see this on my calendar now, because it's a full week, you can't see the full label. If I only go to work week, you get to see a little bit more. But if I actually just go to day and I know that it was on Wednesday, that way I can see everything that's right on there. And if I click on it, it's just like any other appointment I have, when we get meetings and things. That's the same thing the student will see. But what will they see that 15 minutes before that notification? Well, I have to just show you an existing one from a previous student because I can't hear. So let me show you a sample. So when you get the reminder that the appointment is coming up in 15 minutes, you'll notice this one was sent at 7:45 for an 8 a.m. appointment. This is what that email reminder will go out to as the student. So it isn't just a little pop-up that says, hey, you have an appointment coming. It actually has that message on it. So if they didn't see it on their schedule or they didn't know how to access it from there, again, my message explains that to them and it gives them that reminder. So just remember, this is a really malleable kind of tool. You can set it up with different time frames. You can put different messages on there. You can set it up for, a day later, a week later, or a week before, or a day before, whatever you want to do. And it isn't only for student meetings. Maybe you're working on a committee or something like that. I do know that the administrative assistant for our department is using this also for reminders for things like for us, for attendance verification and submitting our grades and things like that. So don't be surprised when you see some of these tools being used in the future. I hope this was helpful. I will always also post a PowerPoint that walked you through these screens as well, along with the video here in the SLS instructor resource site. I hope you found it helpful.